For a preview of Fox 10 Midday. Ashley?
Yeah, good morning to you, Joe. Here's what we're following on Fox 10 Midday. First, Gulf Shores lands a brand new nonstop flight as Allegiant expands its service. So we'll tell you the new destination at 11, but just a hint, it's a hot spot for country music. So we'll have the full airline ticket information and everything you need to know coming up. And then thousands of low-income seniors may soon be out of work as funding for a federal job training program is still on hold. We'll explain why. All of your latest local, national, and global headlines are coming up at 11. And of course, Jen will have a look at your forecast, so be sure to stick around for Fox 10 Midday.
Fox 10 News starts now with breaking news.
We're going straight to breaking news out of Mobile this morning. 2 women struck by gunfire. Fox 10's Dacian Smith, one of the first reporters to arrive on scene. And Dacian, what have you been able to gather so far?
Well, Ashton, we're still pretty very on in this investigation, and it's still an active scene out here. As you can take a look behind me, some of the officers, some of the detectives did get out of here a little bit earlier, but you still see some of them out here. You see their cars. A few of them have gone to that crime scene tape on the left in between those 2 houses, where they've really been focusing a lot of their investigation on as far as taking pictures, walking back and forth, and seeing what's back there. So since it's still early on, we don't know a lot of information, but here's what we know so far. Mobile police have been out here since around 9 o'clock, and when they got here, they discovered 2 women had been shot. They have since been taken to the hospital, and as of right now, Police Chief William Jackson says they haven't received an update on their conditions. Since then, several officers and detectives have been out here looking for evidence, taking pictures of the scene, and talking to witnesses. As of right now, MPD says they don't have any idea what led up to the shooting, and they don't have any suspects or persons of interest at this time. Again, this is still a very active investigation, still an active scene out here. Not exactly sure how long the officers will be out here, but MPD does say they plan to release more information later on today. So, of course, we'll be sure to update you when we know more. But for now, live in Mobile, Dacian Smith, Fox 10 News.
All right, Dacian, thank you for that update. Again, like he said, we'll pass along any new information to you on air and online at fox10tv.com. Well, right now, a 17-year-old remains behind bars accused of shooting his 14-year-old brother. This was the scene yesterday afternoon on Shaw Street. Investigators say the 14-year-old was shot in the chest and rushed to the hospital. No word on what led to the shooting or how it happened, and his current condition has not been released. The 17-year-old is facing first-degree assault and firearms charges, but due to his age, we can't release his name. And in national news now, New York City police and the FBI continue to investigate yesterday's deadly shooting at a Manhattan office building. Now we're learning more about a possible motive. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen is at the scene with more.
Police say the gunman traveled cross-country before opening fire right here in this Midtown Manhattan office building. A note found on his body suggests he was targeting the NFL. Shattered glass and a bullet hole sitting outside 345 Park Avenue, one day after a gunman killed multiple people before turning the gun on himself.
They were telling us to shelter in place and to get away from the windows.
According to Mayor Eric Adams, the 27-year-old who played football in high school was trying to target the NFL headquarters, one of several tenants in the building, but took the wrong elevator. Investigators say he had a history of mental illness, and a note found in his pocket appeared to blame the league for his struggles with CTE.
He appeared to have gone to the wrong bank, and he ended up on the floor of Rudin Management. And you see on the videos that he discharged the weapon several times.
Among the victims, NYPD officer Didarul Islam, who was working off-duty security at the building. The 36-year-old is originally from Bangladesh. He was married with 2 boys, and his wife is pregnant with their 3rd. Overnight, officers gathered at a New York City hospital to pay their respects.
He made the ultimate sacrifice, shot in cold blood, wearing a uniform that stood for the promise that he made to this city.
The large financial firm Blackstone, which has its name on the building, says one of its employees was killed in the shooting. The NFL released a memo saying one of its employees was badly injured, but will hopefully pull through. We can expect to see higher than usual security here as this investigation continues. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
And locally now, grief counselors are at McGill-Tulane Catholic High School today as students and staff mourn the loss of 17-year-old Will Glass. The Winston County coroner confirms the McGill senior drowned Sunday night while he was kayaking with friends at Smith Lake. Investigators say the teenagers were jumping off a dock when Will went under and never resurfaced. The school announced his death in an email to families, acknowledging the deep loss felt throughout the school community and beyond. A rosary and prayer service is scheduled for tomorrow night at 6 o'clock at St. Mary's Catholic Church. Grief counselors will also be at that event.
Taking a look at your forecast right now and a look at conditions just across the southeast, and what we're starting to see for today is just more of that heat and more of that humidity. Those winds, they're out of the north, and so it's really not quite helping us out that much. Normally, whenever we start to see some of those northerly winds, we'll start to introduce some drier air out there, some lower humidity. Not the case for today, as everywhere across the southeast is having to deal with some of the sticky weather out there. But looking in just a little bit closer, still just starting to see some of those clear sunny skies, but also noting some of those pop-up showers already beginning to make an appearance closer towards Clark and Monroe counties. Now, a live view outside from our Navigator Credit Union camera at the Battleship. Just starting to see some blue sunny skies, some puffy cumulus clouds out there, a nice breeze with those winds out of the northwest. But temperatures in the mid-90s, dew points upper 70s, so feeling like 108. It is hot and it is toasty out there. Continue to take breaks and stay hydrated in case you are going to be spending any time outdoors for the rest of today. But also keep in mind, we once again have that heat advisory in effect. The National Weather Service has issued this for our entire viewing area. What that means is that we are meeting that very specific criteria of heat index values. Those feels like temperatures getting over 108 degrees or possibly even above that. So this is heat, but this is heat like we haven't quite been seeing for the months of June and early July, but we'll continue to see more of this for the days ahead of us. Again, stay hydrated, take breaks in case you are spending any time outdoors. Temperatures out there right now, not quite seeing any more of those 80s. Everywhere beginning to warm up into the 90s. Bruton, the only one holding on to 89 at this time, but taking the humidity into account, easily feeling like the triple digits out there. Again, stay hydrated, take breaks, make sure that you're turning off the lights, closing those blinds and curtains in your house. That way you're helping your AC, giving it a little bit of a break because it's going to have a hard time keeping up in this heat. Now, taking a look at what we'll see heading into this afternoon. Daytime highs maxing out mid to upper 90s. Feels like temperatures just soaring and staying there in the triple digits, closer towards 110 degrees or above. We do have the potential for some rain chances heading into today. I'll be breaking down more of those details and the timing coming up in just a little bit. Ashlyn.
Jen, thank you. Well, new this morning, President Donald Trump is heading home from Scotland with a major trade deal in hand, while other countries scramble to finalize deals before Friday's deadline. Fox's Rebecca Castor has this story from Washington.
President Trump's trip to Scotland was about more than just golf and bagpipes. He's heading back to Washington with another trade deal in his pocket after the European Union agreed to a 15% tariff on most goods and to invest hundreds of billions of dollars in the U.S.
The European Union is the monster deal, and they agreed for the first time ever to cut all their tariffs, cut their barriers, and let American businesses and farmers and ranchers and fishermen finally sell into the European Union.
The announcement comes just ahead of Friday's deadline when the president says,
we're going to be setting a tariff for essentially the rest of the world, and that's what they're going to pay if they want to do business in the United States. It'll be somewhere in the 15 to 20% range.
That's higher than the 10% tariff most countries are paying now, but less than he threatened to impose for some. Canada was staring down a 35% tax on some exports, but the Prime Minister is still trying to work out a deal he'll be happy with.
The negotiations are at an intense phase. There is a landing zone that's possible, but we have to get there, and we'll see what happens.
Another major trading partner still without a finalized deal is China. Officials are in Sweden for more talks, but Fox is told they're making slow progress. U.S. officials say they hope to extend their 90-day tariff truce with China while negotiations continue. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
And breaking right now, two of the nation's biggest railroads are looking to merge in a massive $72 billion deal. This would create America's first ever transcontinental freight line. Union Pacific, which operates in the west, and Norfolk Southern, which covers the east, announced the proposed merger earlier today. The deal still has to clear regulatory hurdles, though. Some industry groups worry the combination could lead to supply chain issues or service disruptions. But both companies insist the move will improve efficiency and benefit customers all across the country. Well, here at home, Gulf Shores lands a new nonstop flight as Allegiant expands its services. Travelers heading to or from the Alabama Gulf Coast will soon have a new, convenient way to fly to and from Nashville. Allegiant Air announced a major nationwide expansion this week, and Gulf Shores is on that list. Starting November 21st, Allegiant will launch nonstop service between Nashville, Tennessee and the Gulf Shores International Airport. Tickets for the new route are already on sale at Allegiant.com, with introductory one-way fares as low as $49 for the new route, with travel dates running through early 2026. And speaking of local airports, right now on the Fox 10 Gulfstream, some new funding is coming to airports in Alabama. Sarah is taking a closer look at what this means for airports in our area and for you, the traveler. She's also looking at where we stand on construction and new projects and some changes to flights at local airports. As always, Sarah's Spotlight is available right now on the Fox 10 Gulfstream TV app. Don't forget, you can always watch it live weekdays starting at 9 a.m. Well, coming up, the nation is in the midst of a brutal heat wave. Millions of Americans from Florida to the Northeast are at risk. Is there any relief in sight? We'll tell you about that. And the city of Daphne opening its newest splash pad to the public. We'll take you there. And Jen, we can't think of a better way to beat the heat, right?
What a perfect day for the splash pad. Just make sure kids are wearing lots of sunscreen and getting in plenty of fresh water from a water bottle throughout those breaks too. But let's go ahead and take a live view outside down on Dauphin Island, seeing some sunshine out there, a nice breeze. And over the next few hours, those temperatures continuing to tick up, but even looking at the potential for some of those showers and thunderstorms. I'll be breaking down more details on that and the timing coming up when we come back.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday. A life-threatening heat wave is spanning out over the eastern half of the country, sending folks scrambling for ways to beat the heat. Fox correspondent Katie Byrne has more now from Philadelphia.
People of all ages are looking for ways to cool off as a life-threatening heat wave settles over the East Coast. More than 150 million Americans from Florida to the Northeast are under heat warnings or advisories. And as temperatures soar into the triple digits, folks are finding a way to beat the heat.
We got out early because it wasn't too bad this morning. And now, later in the day, it starts to get a little bit hotter, warmer, so we go inside.
We're looking at potentially record-breaking high temperatures in cities like New York, Philadelphia, and Baltimore. Doctors are warning about heat stroke and heat exhaustion, and they're stressing if you're out in the sun, make sure you pace yourself.
If you do have a job that requires you to be outside for a long period of time, try to keep your skin covered and, most importantly, stay hydrated.
The high temperatures are the result of a so-called heat dome that settled over the eastern U.S. It's putting a major strain on power grids up and down the coast, but utility companies say they're ready.
Everything is stable. Our planners prepare for days just like this.
Here in Philadelphia, the mercury is rising, and some folks are already saying they're ready for summer to be over.
I like the wind. I'm just excited for the fall. It's so damp out here.
It's been a hot summer.
Yeah, it's been a really hot summer.
Forecasters say we're in for another day of triple-digit temperatures. After that, a burst of cool air will bring relief to the Northeast. In Philadelphia, Katie Byrne, Fox Weather.
And woo, we can certainly feel that heat here on the Gulf Coast. And what better way to cool off than at a splash pad? And that's just what some folks are doing over in Daphne. Take a look. Yeah, it was nothing but screams of delight when the water was finally turned on. The city hosted a grand opening for the new splash pad at Joe Louis Patrick Park on Johnson Road. It opened just a little over an hour ago, and the kids are already looking like they are having a blast out there. And if you are heading out, be sure to wear your swimsuits and bring your towels. Also be sure to pack some sunscreen. But that's not all. Another splash pad will be opening tomorrow. This one will be in Mobile at Lawn Park. This splash pad was built with a nature theme to help complement its surroundings. This will be Mobile Parks and Recreation's 7th splash pad in our area, and the ribbon cutting will be held tomorrow starting at 11:30 a.m. and then it will finally be open for everyone to enjoy.
Taking another look at your forecast and a live view outside down on Pensacola Beach, and it is looking beautiful out there. Some vibrant water, some calm water conditions too. Few folks getting out there and enjoying it, but I can tell you this, it's going to be hot and toasty out there. Few folks getting out there and just enjoying the water for today. Plenty of sunshine for your Tuesday. Just make sure you're applying that sunscreen over and over again. If you look in front of the lifeguard stand, you can even start to see green flags out there for today. Now, unfortunately, our Gulf Shores sensor is out. It can't quite handle these hot and toasty conditions. Pensacola is still going strong, though. Resting in the lower 90s, those winds out of the north-northwest near 10 miles per hour. Dew points muggy in the mid-70s, so feels like temperatures feeling like 105. Now, as we get further along into the rest of this afternoon, those daytime highs are going to continue to warm up and coming in above average for what we should be seeing this time of year. We'll be maxing out just in a range of the 90s out there, really anticipating more of those mid to possibly even upper 90s. As mentioned, not quite what we should be seeing for this point in July. Normally we should be maxing out in the lower 90s. We'll resume our normal summertime pattern heading into tomorrow. It's just today that we're going to start to see more of those toasty temperatures. Luckily nowhere near that record, however, sent back in 1877 at 100 degrees. Keep in mind, however, the humidity will have us feeling much warmer than that. Easily going to be feeling more like the triple digits as we get further along into the rest of today. Seeing 108, possibly closer towards 111 out there. Again, take breaks, stay hydrated, all the water, all the electrolytes in case you or yourself or your kids are spending any time outdoors. Set those timers as a reminder in case you are working outside, saying, hey, I need to head inside, have that sip of water, just take a break and enjoy the AC. Also close those windows, blinds, curtains, turn off some of those lights in case you are leaving the house. Just that way you're not putting too much of a strain on your AC during this time. Timing things out in our futurecast, we're already seeing some isolated showers closer towards Monroe County, but anticipating more of this rain coverage to begin ramping up heading into the rest of today. We'll really start to see some of that firing off closer towards 2 and 3 o'clock. Heavy downpours, frequent lightning once again possible within any of these showers or storms. Although we're warmer today, this is going to be more typical of our summertime pattern where they come into play the second half of the day. Some of them could pack a little bit more of a punch. And although the futurecast is a little heavy once we get closer towards sunset, I am anticipating a more isolated look once that sun begins to set closer towards 8 o'clock. Still keeping some of those showers and thunderstorms out there, but again, anticipating that to be a bit more isolated. But keep in mind, not everywhere is going to be seeing rain for today. It's all dependent upon your location, random where they start to develop. The rip current risk at our local beaches low today through midweek, heading closer towards the weekend. It's stunning out there. It looks so nice and calm water, seeing those green and yellow flags out there. As always, still just make sure that you're being cautious. And then checking in on the tropics, here's some more good news. It's calm and quiet. No new tropical development is expected in the Atlantic, the Caribbean, and the Gulf waters over the next 7 days. As always, our team will keep you updated right here on Fox 10. Almost 2 months down, but still 4 months to go till November 30th. We'll have more details coming up, but for right now, what we're seeing out there, our summertime pattern continues tomorrow through the weekend as we start off a brand new month. I'll break down more of your forecast details coming up in just a little bit. And also coming up, with the new school year right around the corner, that means returning to a more normal sleep schedule. What you can do to get your kids back on track, that's coming up after the break.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back in at the half hour now. Thousands of low-income seniors may soon be out of work as funding for a federal job training program is still on hold. Goodwill, Easter Seals, and other groups say the Labor Department hasn't released $307 million in grants for the Senior Community Service Employment Program. The program has helped out-of-work adults 55 and older find jobs for decades. Some nonprofits have already furloughed staff even. A Labor Department spokeswoman says grants will be awarded once states submit required budget paperwork. And new today, the Trump administration's trade agreements with several countries are helping Americans feel somewhat more confident about the economy's health and its future. The conference board reports consumer confidence climbed 2 points this month to a reading of 97.2. This reading shows people's attitudes about the economy have stabilized somewhat after deteriorating sharply during the spring. That's when Trump unveiled massive tariffs that threatened to jack up prices and weaken the labor market. The stiff levies Trump unveiled in April have been delayed several times, and the administration says it has brokered trade agreements with 7 countries.
Well, taking another look at your forecast right now, and what we're starting to see out there is just more of the temperatures continuing to stay hot and toasty. A few folks getting out there and enjoying it to begin for today, but do just keep in mind that we will continue to see more of those hot and toasty temperatures as we do progress further along into the rest of this afternoon. So just make sure that you are staying hydrated, taking plenty of breaks as we do make it rest into the rest of your Tuesday. But also we could potentially see some of those showers or thunderstorms out there. Just tracking a few across the Gulf Coast right now. But first I want to go ahead, take a look just at the big picture out there because we do have some high pressure in place. It's making its way closer towards Texas, but it's still bringing our winds just out of the north there. So we're trying to bring in some of that drier air. Typically that's the case that we could see on a day like today, but unfortunately everywhere across the southeast dealing with some of that heat, that humidity, and just some of those sticky conditions. So no relief in sight with those northerly winds. It is bringing in a nice breeze, however. But here's just some of those isolated showers making their way out of Monroe County, now beginning to push into portions of northern Baldwin County. So Tenside just starting to see some of that, getting a new little sweep scan in right there. And it just went from some heavier rain to more of that lighter rain. Also Chrysler beginning to see some of those moderate to heavy showers. Just drive carefully in case you're heading into that area anytime soon. But I'm only anticipating this rain coverage to begin ramping up heading into the early part of today. So we will start to see more of those pop-up showers and thunderstorms making an appearance by 2, 3 o'clock. That coverage only beginning to grow by that point. Again, some of these could pack a punch. Those heavier downpours, that frequent lightning possible within any of these showers and storms. But even then, if you notice, some areas might not see any rain heading into today. It's all dependent upon your location, random where they start to develop. I will say the Futurecast wants to bring in the heaviest portions further inland and closer towards our coastal areas. Closer towards I-65, it's keeping the majority of our area dry. But as we do make our way closer towards sunset, rain coverage wanting to linger behind. I am anticipating it just to turn a bit more isolated, but staying cloudy. Still some breaks in the cloud cover. So before the break, I mentioned the International Space Station. Hopefully some folks will begin to have a good opportunity to view that heading into tonight. Now we once again have a heat advisory in effect. What this means is our local National Weather Service office, they set a very specific criteria. Every National Weather Service office across the nation is going to have different criteria for this because we all deal with heat differently. For us here locally, it has to see those heat indices closer towards 108 degrees. That's why we didn't really see them in June and the majority of July. It was hot out there, but it just wasn't hot enough for us to stray away from our typical pattern. However, today, once again, it's hotter than what we typically see. So we do have that heat advisory in effect, that pink purple coloration that you see closer towards Mississippi, Louisiana. That's going to be an excessive heat warning, talking about even hotter temperatures for us. We have to get closer towards 113 and above to see some of those. We'll still continue to see more of those hot and toasty conditions later on this afternoon. Daytime highs maxing out mid to upper 90s. Feels like temperatures triple digits. Stay hydrated, take breaks, enjoy the AC. No end in sight for some of those triple digit heat indices. We notice a little bit of a knockdown heading into tomorrow, possibly just noting that we'll start to see some of that increased rain coverage tomorrow and temperatures taking a dip into the lower 90s. Rip current risk at our local beaches low today through the weekend, looking great out there, looking beautiful. And here's a look at those temperatures taking a little bit of a dip tomorrow, closer to where we should be this time of year. A brand new month begins on Friday. I'll break down more of your forecast details coming up in just a little bit. Ashlyn.
All right, Jen, thank you for that update there. Well, the Foley Police Department is welcoming a new rookie officer. Meet Canine Officer Juan. Juan is a 2-year Belgian Malinois from Czechoslovakia. He's a dual-purpose canine, meaning he is trained for both patrol and detection work, which is pretty incredible. But specifically, he is trained in firearm and explosives detection. So welcome to the department, Officer Juan. And the start of the new school year is just around the corner for many Gulf Coast students. Here at Fox 10, we're committed to making sure every student starts the year prepared. That's why we're teaming up with Tobias & Comer Law Firm, White Spunner Construction, and Sandy Sansing dealerships to help us collect school supplies for local children. We are still looking for items like clear backpacks, notebooks, 3-ring binders, pens, and paper. All of these donations will go straight to children in the care of Mobile and Baldwin County DHR. A full list of needed supplies and drop-off locations is over on our website, fox10tv.com. And just a note, we are taking donations through the end of this month. Well, listen to this. A North Carolina child with a rare birthmark meets her animated doppelganger. Well, sort of. It was a happy moment for both the 4-year-old and the voice actor for the character Shoto Todoroki. Tom George has this sweet story.
In a sea of colorful costumes, 4-year-old Winry Hall stands out just for being herself.
He has a birthmark like me.
No cosplay needed to dress like her favorite anime character.
Todoroki.
Her parents have been fan of Shoto's anime My Hero Academia for years, and when Winry was born with a rare congenital mole, they couldn't help but notice the resemblance.
One this size is really like 1 in a million almost, and especially with it being on her face, so they're pretty rare.
It's why they always wanted to make sure she grew up appreciating what makes her unique.
Match me.
He matches you.
This video went viral on TikTok, Winry lighting up with excitement when her mom finally found a Shoto plushie at their local store.
It's pretty crazy knowing that more 10 times the people of your town have seen it, more than that. It's insane.
The video also grabbed the attention of GalaxyCon, and as luck would have it, the English-speaking voice of Shoto, David Matranga, was in Raleigh. Winry taking her first ever flight along with her whole family from Missouri to RDU, all for this moment.
You look amazing, so cute, oh my God.
For Winry, a chance to meet a hero, and for David, a moment as an actor he never expected.
You're doing it kind of in a vacuum. You don't know how it's being received always. You don't know, as you're doing it, what the impact will be. And so when you have something as direct as this, where there was an impact that way, it's really, really special.
And just like in the show, where Shoto's friends make him realize being a hero isn't based on how you look, for Winry, a real-life anime plot twist of her own, getting to fast forward right to the best part.
She's so adorable and so cute. It was an amazing connection.
What did you think about meeting David?
Good.
Good.
In Raleigh, Tom George, ABC 11, Eyewitness News.
What an incredible story, and something I know she'll definitely treasure forever. Well, still ahead on Fox 10 Midday, a man's passion for dog figurines left a lasting impression on his kids and put him in the record books. Plus, 2 teenagers from Houston are spreading kindness 1 yard at a time. It's a lesson their father says will serve them throughout their lives. Thanks for watching Fox 10 Midday. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. In Denver Harbor, the sound of lawnmowers means something much more than cutting grass. It's the sound of 2 young brothers on a mission.
14-year-old Raymond and 13-year-old Julio Herrera aren't just cutting grass, they're planting seeds of change. The boys signed up for the 50-Yard Challenge, a national program by the nonprofit Raising Men and Women Lawn Care Service.
And the goal? Help those who can't do it themselves 1 yard at a time. Every evening after their dad gets off work, they load up the family truck and get to work. The goal is to cut 50 yards.
Wow. So as the boys put in the work, their father is quietly planting lessons of his own. He wants them to grow up with values he had to learn the hard way.
I never had a father like that. So just to be there in these moments and watching them learn and take pride in what they do, it's a responsibility and grow up to be good men that always want to give back.
How special. If the boys meet their goal of 50 yards, the program will reward the teens with free yard equipment, which is pretty cool. And they say they want to use it to start their own yard business and help those who need it by cutting their yard for free. Jen, what a sweet way to pass down that legacy in the family.
What an awesome thing that they are doing. Yay for Julio and Raymond. Thank you guys for everything that you're doing. Great lesson and also help those that need it as well.
Absolutely. 50 yards is a lot too.
That is a lot.
I think
And
they
in the
can
heat.
accomplish it based on what we're seeing on our screen here.
Yeah, good for them. Well, a Spanish collector winning a posthumous Guinness World Record for the largest collection of canine-related items.
Okay, Maria Gabarro wasn't much of a fan of real dogs. Instead, he started collecting dog figurines in his 60s. After Gabarro passed away last year at the age of 94, his kids decided to see if their dad's collection could pull off a world record.
And sure enough, Gabarro now holds the record for the largest collection of canine-related items with 5,025 dog figurines in the collection. Gabarro's kids say that he acquired everything at markets and stored his collection in 2 houses. Wow.
Interesting. What do you do with this many dog figurines?
I know. I guess show them off.
Look at it, dust them.
Also to be awarded this after he passed away, and to know that your kids wanted to have something special. And so that's the goal for it all. Especially my mom always makes jokes of what are you going to do with all the stuff after I go. But the fact that they wanted to celebrate it and reach out to Guinness World Records.
So special. I guess 5,000 dog figurines is better than 5,000 real dogs. So
That's exactly
that's a
right.
little easier to take care of.
Oh, I love that one. Well, let's go ahead and take a live look outside right now. This is going to be from the Eastern Shore. Traffic moving smoothly out there along the Bayway, closer towards Baldwin County, in case you're heading out the door anytime soon. But in case you are, grab those sunglasses, blast that AC, maybe even run your car a little early just to help cool it down, because it is hot and it is toasty out there. Just a reminder, it's a great time to go ahead, download the Fox 10 weather app. That way you're staying updated with the forecast. You will start to see those hazard alerts up there just saying, hey, there's already another heat advisory in effect for tomorrow until 6 o'clock. It's going to be hot and steamy out there. You can always keep updated with what your local forecast is looking like if you press that hourly. It'll be based on your location. It'll tell you the temperature, plus also those feels like temperatures on what you can expect later on. But let's go ahead and take another live view outside, this time making our way into southern Baldwin County. Beautiful, calm water conditions. A lot of folks getting out there and enjoying it, soaking up some of that sunshine, but also trying to beat the heat and stay cool in the Gulf waters. Unfortunately, feels like a bathtub out there. We're resting in the upper 80s for those Gulf temperatures, but our air temperature will only continue to feel hotter heading into the rest of today. Daytime highs maxing out really mid to upper 90s. Feels like temperatures triple digits, getting closer towards the 100 and teens. Stay hydrated, electrolytes, get creative, have the sprinklers going today. We talked about earlier that new splash pad opening, a perfect day for it. Just make sure that you can get more creative on ways to cool down for yourself, your kiddos, and also those pets. Now, the rain chances over the next few days, we're going to resume our regular summertime pattern as we get closer towards midweek and into the weekend, mainly anticipating these to be popping up in the afternoons and the evenings. But also, can you believe it? We're in a rain deficit so far for the month of July. We're running about 3.28 inches from normal for what we should be seeing. The most rain we saw this season or this month has been tropical related. So not rooting for that. We'll take the dry conditions over anything tropical related, but just something to keep in mind. Give your lawn and your plants plenty of love. I'll have a final look at your forecast coming up in just a little bit, along with 3 to know before you go. But for right now, a live view outside down on Dauphin Island. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Listen to this. After more than a year of research, a shipwreck spotted on the shore of a Scottish island has been identified. Researchers say it dates back to the 18th century and is linked to the Revolutionary War. Patrick Cornell has this story in today's Take a Look at This.
This pile of wood, first seen in 2024 on the island of Sandy in Orkney, Scotland, is now believed to be the wreckage of a British vessel once known as the HMS Hind. Its remains revealed by changes in climate erasing the sands that covered the remnants for centuries. After 18 months of diligent examination revealing the ship to be the former 6th-rate 24-gun frigate built in 1749 for use by the British Royal Navy. Archaeologists say the HMS Hind saw action during the sieges of Louisbourg and Quebec during the late 1750s, then taking part in the American Revolutionary War in the 1770s. After being decommissioned, the HMS Hind was sold and turned into a whaling ship named the Earl of Chatham, spending 4 seasons in service in the Arctic before wrecking near a Scottish island in 1788. Timbers from the ship are now being kept in a freshwater tank at the Sandy Heritage Center to keep them well preserved. Another thing lost in time until a recent rediscovery, this super small spaghetti-thin snake. According to the conservation group Rewild in the Barbados Ministry of the Environment and National Beautification, the extremely elusive Barbados thread snake had not been seen by scientists for 2 decades until one was spotted under a rock during an ecological survey. In fact, since its discovery in 1889, the serpent has only been documented a few times because, well, it's small and hard to see. Fully grown thread snakes are between 3 and 4 inches in length, making it the world's smallest snake. Researchers took a microscopic look to confirm their finding before releasing it back into the wild in Barbados. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
And it's time for 3 to know before you go. Thousands of firefighters are out across Portugal battling wildfires. More than 2,000 firefighters are on the ground and 21 aerial resources are being deployed. Portugal has been experiencing a heat wave in recent days with temps hovering around 104 degrees. And then a piece from the past will soon be on display for the public. A 4,000-year-old handprint behind me was recently found on a soul house inside an Egyptian tomb by Cambridge University researchers. Officials say the ancient print was probably formed when an unnamed potter moved the model before the clay was completely dry. The handprint will be on display during Cambridge Museum's Made in Ancient Egypt exhibition in October. And then finally, get your sauces ready and gather a lot of napkins because today is National Chicken Wing Day. To celebrate, a number of restaurants, including Wingstop, Popeyes, and Buffalo Wild Wings, are offering deals and promotions. You can visit their websites and the apps for more details on that. A day I love to celebrate. And Jen, I actually looked up some deals going on today for those chicken wings. So obviously you can go to Wingstop. That's a good one. Get 5 free wings if you buy a sandwich. Whataburger has a deal going on too. I did not know that Whataburger had wings.
They do.
Did you know this?
They're very good. They've had them on here before. They got some interesting sauces and they're pretty good.
Yeah.
So I recommend those.
Do you like boneless or bone-in?
I'm definitely, depends.
Depends?
It depends. It depends on the day. It depends what I'm
Hey, the messier the better.
Exactly, how messy I want to get. Yeah,
That's true.
It all depends. But also keep in mind today is Tuesday, so Buffalo Wild Wings has their deal too.
That's right.
Well, let's go ahead and take a final look at your forecast and timing things out on our forecast for today and our futurecast. Introducing more of that cloud cover as we get further along into this afternoon, and there comes into play some of those pop-up showers and thunderstorms. This is going to be more reflective of our summertime pattern here on the Gulf Coast, so that heat, that humidity working together. Some of these could contain a little bit more of a punch, just as heavier downpours, some frequent lightning out there, and even then stays a little more isolated heading into tonight, but you still have the opportunity to potentially view the International Space Station at 9:09 if you start to see some breaks in the cloud cover and seeing less of that rain coverage heading into tonight. But still keep in mind, rain chances today at 40%. Not everywhere is going to be seeing rain for today, so still give your lawn, your plants plenty of love in case they're looking a little dry out there. Temperatures will take a little bit of a tumble heading into tomorrow, much closer to average for what we should be seeing this time of year, but still humidity sticking around, so feeling like the triple digits. But we rinse and repeat every single day as we enter into a brand new month and the weekend.
It looks like the lawn will not be mowed for us this week. Push it back to next week. All right, thank you all for watching Fox 10 Midday. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Be sure to stick around for Fox 10 Live at 3.